Hi, we're the Infamy Fantasy Sports team. We're hosting Fantasy Apex Legends tournament at infamy.gg, so go sign up. But today we're going to talk about Project L, which is Riot's new fighting game. They acquired the game company Radiant, who created Rising Thunder, and it looks like they're kind of going to be porting over the same design philosophies from that game, most notably the elimination of mechanical skill based elements like special move inputs, infinite combos, juggling, like a lot of kind of staples in the competitive fighting game uh, continuity. And to replace them, they have designs that let you just input special moves with one button, but then puts them on a cooldown. So they're trying to implement more strategy and mind games over mechanical skill. So what do you guys think of this like philosophy of altering fighting games to kind of make them more approachable for everyone? And instead of spending hours in the lab practicing your quarter circles, you can just press a button.
It's definitely a huge improvement in my eyes. I mean, you can take me as a casual fighting game player, so you may be like, oh, just get good, but I think that the barrier for entry, and I think a lot of you guys will agree, for fighting games is super hard and time consuming. Like you said, like doing spending your time in the lab doing quarter circles. What average player wants to do that? Like I play Dragon Ball Fighters and like I'll be in the lab for a little bit. It's like fun for me, but like for your average fighting game player, doesn't want to do that.
Like, well, I guess that's you really need to do that to get the maximum potential of the game and your skill. But like, anyone can just play it casually a fighting game. You just gonna suck at it, like, because you won't be
Yeah,
able to
that's the
reach that
Yeah,
thing.
max
For
understanding.
but
me,
yeah, that's
you can go there. You
okay.
can finish up.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's people don't want to get shit on. No one wants to be the training dummy. Like,
Yeah, and also too, like I think that has a time limit as well, Steve. Like depending on how old the game is, like you might not be able to play it based on like how high the skill ceiling has gotten.
Yeah, the
I mean,
floor
it's
is
not
gonna run
all.
away from you. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, recently I started. I bought Mortal Kombat on the Black Friday sale, and that's like the most fun I've had playing a fighting game. And but I'm terrible at them, and like, yeah, I'm not gonna jump into like casual like PvP games because I'm very competitive, and when I lose, I hate it. So it's just like if I know I'm just gonna keep losing, I'm just like fuck this, I'm gonna play something else. But so it's a slow
that
process of just
that's supposed
grinding
to
out.
drive you to the
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah. So I'm like,
tutorials and shit.
no, I'm doing that, and I'm like, I'm doing the like spending time in the training room learning
yeah,
characters combos. But it's like, since I didn't kind of grow up playing fighting games, I'm like very like my skills are very like low in them. So it's like where FPSs I've been playing since I was like 8 essentially. So I kind of like grinded that way of just building up my aim and reflexes and that. But like this, like I'm tired of coming home from work and doing all the other shit. It's like, all right, I'm gonna spend my time kind of grinding out this like the
quarters.
fighting game shit. Yeah, like Cardinal circles, like remembering
Yeah, you get in
combos
the
and shit.
training room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
no, it's
that doesn't
ridiculous.
like I can only do that for so long. It's gonna take forever to
but
like get at a competent
Yeah,
level.
but
yeah,
the
and all
idea
the
is it's like a long term reward though, where it's like, okay, you put in
Yeah,
that work and get it, and then it's like, oh my
I
god, I
know.
did this
It's like that.
thing.
I acknowledge that, but it's like I also
But
just
you
want
don't
to
want
shit.
that
I
really.
want to shit on kids, but it's like it's so long away
Yeah,
from
be
me
mean.
for me. So it's
yeah,
like
it's kind of like Fortnite in a way where like building is just like I can see both sides. It's like, yeah, building is fun for me. I know how to do it, and it's like feels good to shit on kids. But like the kid that's getting shit
mhm.
on, like you know that kid like because you'll like see them just like spin around in a circle. Like no, it doesn't know what's happening, and it's just
He never stood a chance.
yeah, it never stood a chance. And like no one wants to be that guy, especially in fighting games. You don't
Mhm.
want to be like turning people off. Like Jake's talking about all this, and he hasn't even played one game,
Yeah.
one online
Like
game.
if I was still in college and like I had a lot more time, like now I'm like really stringent like what I do with my free time. And it's like if I had more time, like and I was younger, like hell yeah, I'd probably be like I wouldn't care as much. So like I'd be willing to sit down for hours and just grind it out. But this is definitely like helping alleviate that like initial barrier of entry for people. So
I
Yeah, you
definitely
don't
think
need to
this
spend
brings
40 hours building up the
Yeah,
muscle memory to actually play online.
yeah.
hmm
Yeah, I think this brings up like the question of like what skills are you trying to test? Like you brought up FPS, and people that haven't played FPS, like moving the camera and aiming in general is just like a whole new challenge. But like you have to learn that to be able to
hmm
do it. Like sorry,
Mhm.
but are these like because they've been such core attributes, are they foundational? Like, are they? This is what fighting games is, and if you take that away, is that eliminated, or is there something else to that's?
Well, to go harp on the point, like the FPS mechanics is like that's why like a big reason why Overwatch is like kind of garnered to like such a wide range of like people because they have the characters that aren't strictly if you can't hit your shots you do nothing except feed. So that like helps bring people in to FPSs for their first time and maybe will branch off into other FPSs or just want to like grind that out like I had fun playing let's use uh Diva as example. Not like the mechanical ability ceiling for her is extremely high, but like to get basic value out of her, you don't need that much mechanical
You didn't
skill.
even have to learn to reload.
Exactly. But in terms of like, is this gonna be like, yes, there's gonna be a huge like elitism it's not a real fighting game. It's gonna fall similar to Smash, where it's like you have these cool moves where you just really just hit side B, you hit A,
Direction button.
really just directionals. It's not like stringing combos. You just like you're basically spamming in a way, but just
Well, that's why I like Smash so much because just to answer my own question, I don't think that's like the most interesting stuff is like all the technical aspects. I think it's more the decision making and the mental strategy of it all and positioning, timing. Like I think there is a lot that goes into that's more interesting for spectators even.
Yeah, and like Jake was saying, like all that stuff he was saying to prep for playing, you don't even get into like things like spacing, positioning, like stuff like that. Like that's just like being able to land a hit and then continue a combo. That's not even like scraping the surface of a fighting game. And I think that having a system like this will just let you dive straight into those mechanics while also doing something that you said, putting cooldowns on them. Now kids can't spam. That's like number one pet peeve in fighting games. Like I'm not the best at fighting games, but my voice just cracked. Jesus Christ.
I'll edit it so you're like real deep right there. Like, I'm not the best at fighting.
You were just talking about Big Mouth. Here you are, harkening back to your teenage.
Look at my boy hitting
Back to the
puberty on the
roots.
stream.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. They grow up so fast. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, like spam. Number one pet peeve in fighting games, like implementing a cooldown system. I don't know of a fighting game that has something like that. We said off camera that there's things like bars, but you can hit max bar and just spam at some point. And there are some moves like your quarter circles that don't cost any bar. I know Dragon Ball Z has like non-EX moves that are spammable, and I think it'll be interesting to like have that kind of mindset in the back of your head when you're fighting someone. Like, okay, he just used this move, he doesn't have a large part of his toolkit, or maybe he doesn't have a minor part of his toolkit, and then you can make your next move based on that, and it'll be more like chess as opposed to checkers.
Yeah, there's this like theory of creativity where people think like having like endless options is like the best way to be creative, but like actually putting limits and like restraints on things, like forcing you to actually be creative and like set the situation like that. Like, okay, because this cooldown is down, this means this XYZ. So I think like on the surface level it seems like limiting juggling and like limiting combos, like that seems like whack as hell because you can just like it's just dumbing it down, but it's actually like creating more of a like dynamic to grab onto and to and like be able to perceive the flow of the game.
Sorry.
Well, it really depends on how much variance they have. Like the concern probably from the fighting game community is going to be how much depth is this game going to have if you can't do all these things that I'm used to doing, right? Now we don't have a lot of information on the game, but like what we've been talking about right now is they're going to probably have like how they're all League of Legends characters, so they're probably going to have the 3 moves that they have in game adapted for a fighting game, and they're going to have cooldowns. But you're also going to have directional moves that don't cost whatever the system is, EX, whatever it is, bar, and you'll be able to hopefully string together combos with that. But like,
I feel like the biggest issue is ultimates. Like ultimates on a cooldown is like, I don't know.
well, again, like we don't know how the system is actually going to work. Like they don't have a lot.
If we just base it off of League, like I assume they're gonna try to stay true to it as possible.
Maybe it'll be like Samira, where it's like she built her ultimate off of just landing consecutive different moves on somebody. So maybe if you do build, you kind of, I guess it would be a meter. but it's like you
Yeah.
just combo people enough, eventually you unlock your move and you just poop on kids.
But
The
the
way
idea is also that some people have better ultimates, so that's why the cooldowns are a factor. Like, I guess you can just change it to cost. But yeah, what were you saying now?
Yeah, the way I saw it working was that you would have like your ultimate on a like cost of resource like bar, but like your regular specials would be on a cooldown. But
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
I thought like the biggest fear of the community would be characters all playing the same when you streamline the mechanics like that. What makes characters feel different
Well, I
at
think
the
they definitely have the roster to make it diverse. I mean, it's gonna be a
Mhm.
while until like they get into like the Echo champions that they have in League, like your Darius and Garen. Like, there's not gonna be that much variance between those two, but
Yeah, I think
but
that's one of the expectations set on them is to have a huge variance because they already have these like preset characters with huge, like a lot of range and moves.
yeah, so it's like I I see no reason why they wouldn't add Set as like part of the initial roster, which is like
But
which
aren't all his moves just punches? Like, what would
no, but
his
like
moves-
one he pulls you in,
Yeah,
and then you have the his
What if
ultimate.
he builds armor? What if
Yeah.
he builds armor with his moves? Like there's so much that
Mhm.
they can play around with, like melt, like because they have a huge not only roster but also variations of abilities and effects that they can
Mhm.
put into this fighting game. So like they have ability to put a lot of complexity that other fighting games don't even touch.
Mhm.
So and like their built-in fan base is already gonna know a lot of it. So like they can really go crazy with it. And I hope they do. I hope it's not a boilerplate. Everybody feels the same. Like Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 8, long time ago. But like what happened in Mortal Kombat 8 is they changed the button mapping so everybody's button maps were the same. But the problem was that a lot of their characters all had the same kind of moves, so it felt very samey. So like there were only a few characters that felt different. So like
Mhm.
you can run into that problem, but I'm really hoping they don't because they can do so much.
uh,
Well, it's all
I
gonna be on. It's all geared to be able to play on keyboard, which is crazy. 'Cause that's what the original
yeah.
game was built around. So that's a whole different thing.
yeah, and Riot traditionally does go for the PC. Like, even knows? It'd be crazy if this wasn't on console, like a fighting game that's PC
Yeah,
only.
I can't even like wrap my head around a fighting game with like fighting games that we play now, like Dragon Ball Z and Mortal Kombat, just like trying to make those mechanics work on a keyboard.
It feels
So
like
like,
playing like those like shitty flash games, like,
yeah,
for TV shows or whatever, like back in the
yeah.
day. Like, oh,
I think thing a lot of people are forgetting is that these games are already heading in this direction in a way. Like Mortal Kombat has streamlined combos, Dragon Ball Z has streamlined combos. It's not as simple as one button does everything, but it's like when everyone has quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, what's like what's getting rid of one more input at that point?
what are the other like kind of what Blake was saying before? It's like, yeah, the specials will be on cooldown, but like, what is the actual like it just be light and heavy attacks? Like, is there going to be directional inputs for them? Is it gonna like, is there going
That's
to be
what I would
variance?
assume.
Hmm.
That's what I would assume. And
I
like
think
too, like, do you think they'll do? They could also do like a combo system. But like, I'm honestly not a fan of combo systems because I'm not trying to like learn an entire manual just to play one character. You know, like
Yeah, I love fighting games so much. I learn no combos. I'm always just coming at you with like two moves. Like,
yeah.
dude, my Mortal Kombat game is jump kick. Like that's why they made dive kick. Like dive kick was a game completely designed around like, yeah, we're not doing any combos. You just jump and kick. That's it. Sick game.
but I think it's like cool to like focus on the fundamentals like that and just like the actual like mental of fighting games, which is I
Yeah.
like the chess aspect of it. That's why I like it the most. So.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too. That's why I like Dragon Ball Z so much, even though like sometimes it feels like you don't get to play, but like
That's why I like Mortal
maybe
Kombat. I just like it's more trading instead of just.
yeah. Maybe if I thought better and read you would have blocked low and didn't get put in a full health combo, you know. Get good.
That's the problem. That the fact that there is full health combos, but I mean, like I guess people like really like trying to develop
Yeah.
those out. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's just not for me.
It
But like,
does intrinsically add like stakes to the like the footsie game and the spacing and stuff. It's
Mhm.
like if I fuck this up, I'm down a character. That's why they give you multiple characters, so it's not total wash, but
Yeah, you're down.
you're down.
I mean, I wanna like, I really am hoping that this game has enough complexity in it where it's actually fun to play these characters though, because like I've been looking for a fighting game and like none of them have really been the right fit. Like I'm not trying to spend hours of my life trying to just get into like the just get on the skill floor.
I like Brawlhalla.
Yeah, but like that's also too like
Love
that's
me a
more.
good Smash clone.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think Smash is like a great um, test case for simplifying it. Like it has enough systems in it where there is complexity, but like the button maps aren't
Yeah.
complex.
A lot of people in the fighting game community don't see Smash as a fight
Hmm.
or like believe it's a fighting game.
Even
I
though
never
it
fully
brings
understood
in
why.
the most
Yeah.
participants and the biggest prize
Is it because
pools.
of the same? Is it because of the same reason that this might not be
Yeah,
considered?
I
Yeah,
think
that's why I was kind of like mentioning it before. It's like
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I just
that
don't know if that's the
comparison.
actual reason or because it's
I think that's one of the
because
reasons.
it's Mario slapping around Donkey Kong. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what
I-
these kids like standard is. Like, not enough
Mainly
bouncing
just like
kids. I don't know.
simplicity.
Mhm. And just the fact they're using the Legends of Runeterra characters is just like just immediately familiarize the people who are again like where Overwatch brought in a lot of new people to FPSs. This is gonna bring in all the Riot uh, fans from League, now from Valorant. It would be cool if they actually, you know, down the line introduce Valorant characters as like a fighter pack. That'd be kind of
I
cool.
mean, it's not out of the question. Like we
Mhm.
saw, Jinx is going to be a character in it. Like they will have ranged characters in it. I don't know
Mhm.
how they're going to work Valorant people into
Mhm.
it, but that I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
I
Especially
think
like
like
how,
Phoenix and stuff. Like I think it
yeah, I
generally
mean, like
fit.
they all have unique powers. It's just
Mhm.
really working them into a fighting game setting. Like how would it work?
Yeah.
I mean, that game, what was it? Pokemon something? That
Oh,
was
X
yeah,
D
X or
Oh,
whatever it is.
Pokken
X,
tournament.
yeah,
yeah,
Pokken
Pokken
Tournament.
tournament.
That
Pokken.
game
Yeah.
that game was a lot of people complained about it, but one thing it did do well was like it made characters that you would never expect to be in fighting games. They had like fighting game moves like the ghost chandelier thing that like had candles for hands and it
I
like it's really like a chandelier on the ground and somehow it's a fighting
I
game
totally
character.
forgot. I just remember it had Gengar, Machamp, um,
Charizard.
Lapras.
Charizard,
Did it
Pikachu.
have Lapras?
I think shit. I think it was a. I think it was like a support
Assist.
character.
Yeah.
It's
They had like a couple
Yeah.
characters that you wouldn't think to be in a fighting game, which I
I
think
mean, I
this game
think
will have the opportunity to
Do you
do.
think it's
well.
gonna be a tag team system, or do you think it's just gonna be strictly 1v1s?
Yeah, I really hope that there's a tag team system. I really like Dragon Ball Z for like being able to use your boys as assists,
Yeah.
and like it would just be fun to like,
Yeah.
I don't know, just it just like again that's more depth that they add to the game. So like now you also have to worry about team comms. Like
Yeah.
it just gives itself more legitimacy in the fighting game community, and they've wanted a Riot backed game for so long. Like think about how like if Valorant goes the same, if they do the same thing that they're going to do with Valorant, eventually they'll be putting up large prize pools
Hmm.
or at least supporting it. Like it's not going to be like, oh yeah, it's all crowdfunded or it's all community funded.
Um, yeah, I just don't think Riot's gonna put that big an emphasis. I think they're gonna do the Valorant route where they just kind of take a hands-off approach for a while, and especially with like such a grassroots history in the FGC, that just let them run their own thing for a while, and if it starts to, they'll wait for the right time to start stepping in and offering prize pools and events.
I could see them doing like a similar thing to what the Smash World Tour was going to do this year, where it's like the official uh, I forget who was running the Smash Tour, um, but like the Riot backed events would be like the major ones, and then like the third party ones could also potentially be like at best maybe A tier where Riot tiers are the S tiers and like different tiers that lead into like a world championship for with like a point system. I think that could they could
Yeah, it's kind of the format they're doing for Valorant, where there's like, your regional your locals, then like one step up, and then if you like earn enough, you can go and compete in the bigger ones, which are more valuable. So it's similar,
Yeah.
which I think is cool.
Another thing I think this game will bring to the table is potentially online tournaments and like doing it right with their rollback netcode. Like I know a lot of the fighting game community has complaints about their respective games netcode and how the online experience is terrible.
Hmm.
And I think online tournaments will be a huge benefit to the fighting game community in general, just because the sheer lack of inconvenience of having to like with the world tour, like Jake was saying, like go to these places and you get rated based on like where you can show up at, and there's a lot of limiting factors that go into things like that. So I think if the netcode is done correctly, we can potentially see a online tournament done well.
Not even just the tournament. It's just you see it with Valve and their reaction to the notoriety or the hype that Valorant has created in the tac shooter space, where they've uh, people have been very, very critical of Valve of not like updating their game fast enough or kind of addressing like things that need to be changed
They're
fast
like,
enough. And
we
then
didn't ask for all this.
and now that Valorant's here, it's kind of like a fire under their asses, and they just integrated like a ping system, which is huge, and I guess like the new kind of event or like season in CS:GO is like really big, and a lot of people are a big fan of like what they're doing with it. So kind of having such a huge company entering the FGC could it would be interesting to see the other companies like NetherRealm and such kind of like what their reaction to it's like, oh shit, like we might not be like the top dogs anymore, and like Riot could just bring in all of this revenue, and then orgs will be coming in like, oh, Riot's here, there's going to be actual like money involved. I want to get into this because it doesn't cost that much to be involved in the FGC right now. Um, so it's like you could see just an influx of orders flooding the scene, and then it's like, oh man, and they're like, all right, entering the FGC for the first time. There's this new Riot game. Are there other ones I want to join? Oh wait, compared to this, not really, because this and that is kind of like hindering this scene, and maybe these other studios and other games will be like, oh shit, we got to step up our game and like improve their product.
Yeah, competition is always good, and I've been saying it for a while. I think the fighting game community is on the come up. They've been in the shadows for a while, but the next couple of years I think are going to be huge for them. Like
Coming
everyone's
out
been
the
cashing
shadow
out
realm.
on yeah, coming out the shadow. Everyone's been focusing on the FPSs and getting the money there. But I think it's like the market's becoming oversaturated with all these FPS streamers and content creators. People are going to be started looking to secondary options, and the fighting game community is where it's going to be at.
I
I mean,
think, yeah,
that's
I
more
think
of a.
this,
Go ahead.
yeah, I just think this opens a lot of doors with just like the more appeal to casuals, because I think that is a big part of why the fighting game community is so closed in, because it's not easy to, like, even if you enjoy watching it, a lot of people wouldn't want to play it, which limits your audience potential. So just having it easier to get into as well, and like having a small lower bar to get into, uh, is going to increase the esports range.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Blake?
Oh yeah, no, I mean definitely, Steve. But what I wanted to talk about was what it's going to have on the like even just the developers of fighting games as well. Like you're going to look at like we look at an American centric market like with the FPS saturation, but like if it does well on a global scale, like how League of Legends is very much a global game, it might affect the Asian markets as well, which are like the other large producer of fighting games. But they don't use like rollback netcode because they have like this very ingrained culture of NIH, which is not invented here. They don't want to use anything that's not in house. So it might push them to update their games, and you might see a new renaissance in the fighting game community because they can bridge those gaps of international online play and grow those user bases rather than having garbage netcode where you're literally a slideshow. Can't play the game. You know, like
Yeah.
love me some Guilty Gear, but either I get shit on because I'm bad, or I'm watching a slideshow and I can't play because I'm playing against somebody halfway across the world.
Bro, there's nothing more defeating than queuing into a fighting game player match or ranked match, and you choose the green connection. You're like, all right, this guy has green connection. 10 frame delay.
Biggest catfish in the
Yep.
world. There you go.
Straight catfish.
Yeah. Yeah, it hurts. But like, I mean, like, imagine that from like a casual perspective and trying to build an audience for an esport. Like, it's impossible. And I feel like that's what's been holding the FGC back for so long.
Yeah, that, and we talked about this in a previous video. The ease of playing with friends.
Yes.
It just needs to be an easy way to just invite your, like, maybe Jake will spend time in the training lab if he can invite someone and play them with them in the training lab and have like actual practice games instead of having to like go into a player match and then like someone loses and we gotta back out the lobby and load back in, like whole process for no reason.
They're like, these people don't have friends. Never.
That's why I don't even play Smash anymore. Because it's like, I literally can't play with my boys, and it's like it's like fuck that. I'm not doing this. I'll go play something else.
That's a Nintendo problem, though. I don't know if that's man. Also, while we're on the topic of fighting games, bring back Z fighters. No, Battle of Z. Battle of
Dragon
Z.
Battle.
Battle of Z.
That game was simplicity at its finest.
Yeah.
You had 2 combos, but it was all about your moves.
yo, team fighting games, man. Where are they at? Bring those back.
4v4 fighters, let's go.
Yo, also too,
Armored
like
Core.
when you have multiple characters, I want to be able to play co-op with my boys. Swap me in, tag me in, man. Where's my WWE's tag-ins?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z had that, but it wasn't as good as you think, because like you
Mortal
like,
Kombat had it and it was sweet, but I mean, I guess that was couch co-op though.
It was
yeah,
just
like
the design of Dragon
it's
Ball though,
just
because it's like if you get like, it's not like that's one of my characters. That's my whole life. Like I got put into a rough situation, and
you like switch your boy out and it's just like, oh, caught him on the way in.
Yeah.
Like instead of being a third of your gameplay, it's 100%. So.
Yeah.
But I do love that the tag-in option. I think a lot of games should do that. Even if I don't actually expect this to have like assists or anything. I think they do because basing on the original game, Rising Thunder, I do think they want it to just be like a one-on-one thing. But even with those, you can easily do a tag-in. Like even if it's like you can't do a tag-in, but it's like when someone dies, they go in and do it like that style.
New round. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, or
the
just
way
finish
Tekken,
off the versus the health.
I think that's the way Tekken does it. Could be wrong on that. I haven't played Tekken in a long ass time.
Yeah, Dead or Alive had a good one.
It's gonna be funny to see. Like I know that's like the reasons. Like when I play like Mortal Kombat or whatever, it's like it's just me. It's like all right, I know if I lose, it's because I just suck. And it's gonna be interesting to see these people coming in from the MOBAs or other like team-based games like Valorant or whatever, and they're like, oh man, it's always my teammate's fault, and then it's like, oh no, it's just you and the ring buddy, and then I got shit on, like, oh, what are you gonna blame now if you have
you
good
blame the
connection?
character,
The shitty,
obviously.
no, the shitty netcode. That's why.
Yeah,
No, you can't blame that either.
The netcode or my quarter circles were, I swear, like the controller.
Oh, you
dropping my
quarter
inputs,
WASs? Oh yeah. Oh god.
My inputs
Yeah.
are dropping.
To drop my inputs.
But bringing it back, like, what characters would you want to see in like the initial roster from League? Like, I want to see Lucian in there, and I want to see, like, for one of his like, standard attacks. What if he could just like pistol whip someone with his guns? I think that'd be fun.
He's gonna slide in and bust
slide in and
kneecaps
pistol whip
open.
you. Fuck you.
I want to see Volibear. I think that would be just like Mega Bear hunting you down. Fucking the ult jumps on you. Can't turn off the towers, but like do something crazy.
Maybe his ult will just stun you.
Yeah.
or freaking or it's a silence. Like that's another thing too. Like if they're gonna do a like it's got cooldowns, like a silence would be like crazy.
Yeah.
I want to see
that's true.
Pantheon though.
Yeah.
I want to see Pantheon. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm curious
Pantheon's
how
like a
since-
one-to-one.
That'd be Chuck
There's so many
fucking
mages
spears
in
from the back.
there's so many mages and like range characters and marksmen. I'm just curious how they implement all those without it feeling spammy.
Yeah, I think the cooldown system will really help with that.
But like their basic attacks should like they only have range. Like usually the move is like what Jake said, like the pistol whip or smack them with your gun. So
Mhm.
I want to see
Like,
Vygar too.
like a green arrow in like a
Fuck Vygar.
Mortal
Gamers.
Kombat game,
Oh,
whatever, just beating you with my bow.
Unfortunately, I think they're gonna put Timu in it. You know it.
They're gonna-
Fuck that.
Bro,
How do they put
Blow-
Timu in it?
I don't know,
Dark
we'll
Man.
figure a way.
Bullet Armor Bandit.
Those tiny characters are always so annoying. I'm sure they'll have Lux, probably Vi, Set for sure. Probably a lot of top laners. Just easy to implement.
Maybe tentacles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe tentacle. I don't even know how to say that.
Yeah, I don't even
Laser.
know what.
Oh,
I don't
I thought you meant the like squid.
Well, my
alien.
boy Eyeball.
Oh,
My
yeah.
boy
Yeah,
Eyeball.
I was like
Vel'Koz?
eyeball.
I-
should-
Just an
Laser
eye?
Vision Eyeball.
I think
That
he'll
guy's
make it. I have a good feeling about it. Tentacles, maybe that she's the focus on there. That other game they just announced, so or it seems like it from the
They'll
trailer.
probably-
So maybe.
Oh, Master Kui for
They'll
sure.
probably have Echo. Echo too, maybe.
All the sword characters.
Echo.
Yeah, anybody
Lee.
that's a melee character is almost guaranteed. I'm just more interested in like what kind of ranged characters besides Jinx they're gonna have. They have what's her name? The Fox girl. I can't remember what her
Ari?
name is.
Ari, yeah.
Ari, yeah, Ari's like one of the only ones that are like confirmed, other than her and was that Darius too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Darius
Darius.
and Katarina.
Oh, Katarina's in it as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how they. I was in the small clip they have. It shows her kind of like teleporting as part of a combo. I was kind of hoping they'd implement it more like how our actual kit works, where you throw daggers and teleport to them. Like throw a dagger up there and beam in. or am
Oh,
I gonna-
that would be busted. I'm with it though. That's
yeah, and
like
that reduces our cooldowns too. So it's just like the ultimate potential to be messed up.
yeah. I wonder how it'll feel playing it, because in League, your characters, they get more powerful. Like you get cooldown reductions like by leveling up and gaining gear. So like your characters just like feel a lot different and play a lot different the higher you are. So I wonder how they'll feel.
If they'll implement that kind of system, like
Not
in
that-
rounds.
Not implement.
Do you
that
think they're
kind of
gonna do it in
system,
rounds?
But like, will it feel slower than, or like, will the characters feel a lot clunkier? Like Steve's saying, like we're.
I don't think they'll
Katarinas.
try to emulate that at all, really. I think the idea is that like you're starting off at your best, like, and even like how some characters are better early or late. That's like more inherent to how League and MOBAs work.
Mhm.
This, I think, it's just going to be a lot more standard, and this is how the character plays
They-
throughout, other than maybe Ultimate.
They could implement the Injustice kind of like builds or the itemization they have in there, and then for like the actual like competitive play, they just disable that. It's just like strict moves, no customization.
Yeah, they have like a gear mode, right? In Injustice.
Yeah, they do. I'm not usually a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no microtransactions, please. Even though this is probably going to be free to play, and they're going to put something in there. Like hopefully they just keep it cosmetic. Yeah, but
so many skins.
yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see how many systems they try to plug from League into it. But
I mean, because the core team, it's not like they're using a League of Legends team. They're using a fighting game team from Radiant for the most part. So they'll try to. I don't think they'll kind of push the boundaries more than it is gonna work. Because what's the
yeah, they
point
want
of
it to
being
be
like,
successful.
look how much like
yeah.
League this is. Like you want it to be a good standalone game. It doesn't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna do it. Like they're gonna just balance it based around the cooldowns. Like, and it's just gonna. Hopefully, they do a lot of play testing on it, and it feels good out the gate. Because like I don't want
That's
to.
one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, because like you're eliminating a lot of those factors like combos and stuff. Like what are some other like but gamers, pro gamers always find a way to like min max, whether it be frame data or whatever. Like do you think they'll find ways to jank it still and kind of break the game?
Oh,
I wouldn't say that there aren't going to be combos either. Like, of course they're going to
Yeah,
break
I just
it.
meant like infinite combos.
Yeah, infinites. There are people. As long as there's competitive, especially if this is made by Riot and they have plans to make this a competitive game, people will always look for that like one little thing they can do. Just
It's just
get
they're
ahead.
factoring in so many ways to eliminate that. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, stop juggling them. Like the
Oh,
game always comes in
I'm-
is like, don't do that.
That makes me wonder, will they, like, if those things do present themselves, will they just like get rid of them? Because I know some fighting games like Smash Melee, they let those things go and it just created a whole beast of its own and made the game even more competitive. So I
Well,
wonder
what
how
would
they
they do? they had no option. It's back with just like,
yeah,
this
but
is
it's
the
like
game.
back when there was no updates.
Yeah,
But
it's shipped.
because like there are things that are game breaking, but it makes the game more fun. Like in Overwatch, the Genji triple jump that they took out, like that was fun. And Genji hasn't been the
Animation
same since.
canceling.
Yeah, and
which
like
is
animation
core part
canceling.
of League itself. So for a lot of characters anyway.
So I wonder if they're gonna
know.
like try and make it like completely streamlined to like even where like the second something like that arises, they're like no, or if they'll just be like this is what we think it should be, and then like just let people.
I don't know. I think this is gonna be one of the biggest challenges for Riot, like as a game, like company, like developing and balancing, keep towing the line between we want to make this fun, but like the fighting game community will react very severely if they overstep what they feel is like a core part of what makes your game fun. So
Mhm.
They need to bring on Ice Frog. Bring Ice Frog in. He's the guy that like basically balances League of Legends by himself. Like bring him into the fighting game
I
balancing.
don't know. A lot of people said that the most recent league patch is terrible and the new
He's
items are
not. He's
god
not doing
awful.
it anymore.
Oh, he's not doing it anymore.
That's
there
why
you
they
go.
brought in the new items.
That's why they brought in the new items.
We got to make
Yeah,
this
but even
simpler.
yeah, I was gonna say simpler just seems to be their mantra lately, even with the new item patch and with this style of
Yeah.
game,
To be fair, when we
which
first started playing League, our biggest complaint was what are all these fucking items?
Yeah, until I learned the items, and I was like, "Damn, they took away my build. Now I can't. Now I don't have the hunt." But it's like, whatever. I mean, like, it's cool. Like, it just you have to adapt to play, and like, I hope they don't. I hope they don't start changing things haphazardly at the beginning, just because people complain about it, and they like let it settle a little bit and see what's actually broken versus like
I
trying to fix
just
something off the rip.
yeah, I just hope that like my biggest issue in fighting games is when like defensive play begin like counter punching becomes the like ultimate strategy and just like kind of like Smash Ultimate was, where you like it's always better not to engage, like you're always better
Mhm.
on the back foot, and like so you can counteract whatever they're doing. Like I think that's so lame, but also at the
Yeah.
same time, like just having rush down characters be the best is also like kind of a
Mind fuck.
Yeah.
ugh.
You don't get a chance to breathe.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
whoever's the fastest character, whoever can get in there first. But maybe with the combo
Yeah.
breaks,
That's like one of the my main complaints about Smash Ultimate was that playstyle. Like, cause I always just want to like, I'm always challenging you. Yeah, it's easy to read, but like,
it's still
I'm
kind of
not holding,
prevalent even in
not holding
current
back in the corner.
like the best player MKLeo. He kind of still has that style where he'll kind of play off your mistakes and just kind of
Mhm.
wait for you to like leave an opening for him to find like the perfect move to do to kind of
Mhm.
screw you. So, but it's just like especially with all the range characters potentially like it might just spawn like the turtling meta, and I just always hate that. So
I mean, I think they're going to be able to balance those range characters with that like that combo break. Like you'll be able to close the gap then. Like and it depends on how they handle blocking in the game, but like closing that gap
yeah,
is going to be
Yeah,
and just range too. Like
what if range
yeah,
characters
what's up?
have less blocking meter um or whatnot? So it's like
yeah. Really, if they're going to have range characters, I hope they don't work it like how like Street Fighter is. You just move backwards because then they're just going to be kiting you the whole time. Like that would suck.
Yeah.
God, I hope that's. I hope
but
they
you
like
don't have the
have.
whole lane. It's literally just a little just a screen where your character's like a
Yeah,
sixth of
yeah,
the
but
thing.
like it's a fighting game too, and you're not. It's not like you have heals or anything where you can like get that health back. Like they just chipped you
Hmm.
for like the whatever the
Maybe
size
they'll
of the map.
integrate the Mortal Kombat thing. It's where you still take damage through blocking. It's just like reduced
Hmm.
damage, and you can mitigate it even more by doing like a perfect like a basically a parry. But
Hmm.
Yeah. That's one thing I don't like about Dragon Ball Z, that there is unlimited block. I wish sometimes I just wish there was a block break, because if you go up against someone who's really good, they can just you can't touch
Mhm.
them.
What do you guys think about like the validity of this? Like I know it's very early stages. Like we know almost nothing about it, but like, do you think the FGC is actually gonna like adopt this game and like enjoy it? And then two, do you think like people are actually gonna watch it as like an esport? Like, do you think it will actually become one?
yes.
I think it doesn't even matter. Like they have such a good base with
Hmm.
some fight. I'm not sure some fighting game players are gonna play it, and they have the Riot base, the fan base, and they're like kind of known for esports. So I think just that pushes them enough to have somewhat some validity.
It's gonna be like Valorant in my opinion, where a bunch of people are gonna be like, I'm gonna hop onto this, and then they're gonna hop onto it. But the only thing I think that's gonna happen different is I think that the fighting game community, if this game is like what they say it is, and they deliver everything correctly, I think that they're going to realize that it's more fun, especially with like the prize pools being implemented as well. Like money talks, everyone can say that this is the mechanics are simple, but I think once they put money on the line, people will just play it, and then once they play it, they'll be like, wow, it's not that different at all. If anything, it's a little bit better and more fluid.
Yeah, I think also too, like from a spectator's position, it'll be a lot more interesting to watch too, because I'm not just gonna be watching this kid get destroyed in the corner on like an infinite combo. Like it will at least be some, like it seems like there will be some back and forth in the game, depending on like how much they take. From Rising Thunder.
For such a generic name, it's really hard to remember.
I keep thinking
It's just
of
because,
Rolling
like,
Thunder from Haiku. Every time I hear it, I just think
Yeah.
about.
I'd like that name better.
Yeah, honestly, I just want to call it BattleBots every time because I'm like, what does this have to do with a robot fighting game? What is Rising Thunder? But
I love how
it
they were
just-
like, as cool a game as is, we don't care about these nameless robots. That just because it's from Russia and Japan, like this means nothing.
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that argument, to be honest with you. Like, if the game's fun, I'm gonna play it. Like, I mean, like, I won't like pick it up. Like, the box art isn't gonna sell me on a fighting game. It's gonna be like, is this fun? And I think that, like, one, is it like fun to watch? Two, is it fun to play? Right? Like, and I think that's what's gonna make this live or die as an esport.
Obviously, like they already have that box checked off anyway. It's like people like the League of Legends characters, so it's like you have the IP set, like just like people like Dragon Ball Z characters. So that's a hurdle already overcome, which is a huge advantage. But I just like just wrapping up. I just really like fighting games, finding new ways to innovate. Like we were talking about Pokken before, how they have the two zones, like where it's like kind of the more range zone and the poke, and then it's like when you get a good hit, it goes into the more traditional 2.5 fighter. And another game like Rivals of Aether, which is like it's kind of called like a Smash clone, but they take like a lot of like interesting steps, and kind of each character has like really unique systems, and even just like their parry system makes it feel its own and is just new and unique. So I hope that games just keep finding ways to not just recreating Street Fighter.
Yeah. No hate to the
Anything
Street
else?
Fighter fans.
Hate to the Street Fighter. No,
No hate to the Street Fighter fans, but your shit is ass.
I'm trying to get mad dislikes on this video. Like, rage in the comments.
Rage in the comments. Feel free to do whatever.
No, I think it's more. We have a lot more people have a lot more faith in Riot now. How Valorant has been turning out, generally positive, to really be taking over esports. It's like still not my favorite game. I don't want to play it, but slowly growing me as like a
Valorant is
spectator.
unproven to me. I don't. They need to have a good 2021.
Well, the thing is, like, you
honestly.
just look at the at least at the top tier in the esports scenes alone, you got major problems in North American Siege. You've got the whole Smash thing going on right now, not being goodwill. CS:GO North America being basically dead. You got Dota 2 having some issues as well. So it's like it seems like Riot's just kind of slowly taking over, just like the major scenes. So like they have a huge...
Yeah, that was pretty evident when they did that huge rollout of like, we're getting into car games, fighting games, shooters. Like, where y'all are ass. We've been doing this right for years. We're gonna show you how it's done.
Yeah. I respect that coming for an approach, but you got to deliver on it.
Yeah.
Raise the competition. I'm all for it.
Yeah, everybody eats when Big Dog comes to the table and just shits on everybody.
Everyone eats shit.
Everybody
Or
eats
yeah, everybody's a gangster until Riot makes your game.
It's so true, though.
It is. It's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. Somebody that knows what they're doing.
Dude,
Look, man,
exactly.
the only way that this game could possibly fail is if they put Ramos in it, okay? If they put Ramos in it, I'm done. I've said this game is garbage. This game is absolute garbage.
I don't want to see no Timu mushrooms either, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like, those are just characters that don't work.
Yeah,
but like,
Timu just needs to stay in the top lane.
to stay in the top lane.
Team
Fuck
just needs
that
to stay
guy.
out of the game. Fuck that.
Yeah, honestly,
Timu
ban
just stay
Timu
banned.
from. He's not even that good.
No,
Yeah.
he
You
gets
just
countered
gotta
by
Nah,
ban
but
one
it's
free
just like
item.
Yeah. It's just funny.
Yeah,
like, oh,
but
got
no
tripped a
Rammus.
mushroom.
No Rammus. Banned from the game already.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, let us know who you do want to see, who you don't want to see in the game, and how you kind of expect this to work, even in just like the bigger FGC ecosystem. Will it be another ugly stepchild, or another ugly stepchild that is like straight Cinderella ups and becomes more popular than all your beloved games, just like Smash? But we will see. We'll keep following this with more coverage, and go sign up for our tournaments, and we'll see you next time.